So, Lone Rider here. I just wanted to weigh in on a little bit of the gun control stuff that's been going on, especially post Parkland. Uh, and I wanted to point out that everybody and their brother has been tripping over themselves to talk about how people that are now advocating for gun control in this sort of modern day gun control frenzy and scapegoating ceremony that we've been undergoing as a society for the last few weeks. Everybody's been tripping over themselves to talk about how wonderful these people are, how brave they are, how courageous they are, etc. I just wanted to point out that whether you're Team 26 or whether you're David Hogg or whether you're whomever on CNN, that going along with mindless hysteria doesn't make you brave, doesn't mean you're sticking your neck out, and doesn't make you some kind of folk hero. Okay? In fact, it doesn't take guts, it doesn't take determination, it doesn't take ability to think for yourself, it doesn't even take a modicum of intellectual activity. All it takes is the willingness to literally suspend your own judgment and just go along with the mob. And maybe exploit it a little bit for self-aggrandizement. Some of these people seem to be doing that as well. My problem is this. The rest of us are going to have to live under whatever societal changes come out of this. If they pass a law, we'll be subject to it. If people's rights get curtailed, we're going to have to deal with that. If there's some policy that's put into effect, we're going to have to deal with whether it's a well thought out policy that balances efficacy and fairness, or whether it's throwing everybody's constitutional freedoms under the bus for feel good window dressing. So this is a real serious issue, and we can't just afford to walk into it with our eyes closed like the blind leading the blind. We have to look at this in terms of cold hard facts. Yes, on one hand, a lot of these people are Parkland survivors and other people who have an emotional gut level reaction. You can't deny what their reaction is. If that's what they really feel, then that's what they really feel. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a sound basis for policy. People can have genuinely legitimate feelings, but they're feelings. They're not facts. They're not knowledge. They're not a firm basis for passing laws of the land. All right? I don't know about you. A 17-year-old who, according to the gun control advocates themselves, shouldn't be old enough to have hold of a weapon. I don't think that person's old enough to make laws governing weapons. Okay? Somebody who's, so frightened out of their mind that they're spouting all this gun control stuff, I don't think that person is in the best state of mind to be proposing new laws and new legislation. Somebody who's so extreme that they're going to say anybody who disagrees with them wants more child murders, well, guess what? I don't think you should be the one making the laws for the rest of us, because you obviously don't know anything about our character. You've got all these people up there basically saying, well, if you disagree with us, you have blood on your hands. Hey, my hands are pretty clean, okay? They've got a little bit of bike grease on them. Maybe they got some calluses, which I earned plenty, but there's no blood on here, okay? And I disagree with you. I disagree with you not because I'm a gun owner, I'm not, but because I happen to know people who are, and I happen to appreciate the idea of firearms. I think they're pretty cool. And, that choice should be up to me or anybody else, not some bureaucrat sitting at a desk or some hyped up, self-aggrandizing 17-year-old who's exploiting the deaths of his classmates to get on TV. Okay? And if that's cruel and unusual and a mean thing to say and all that stuff, well, you know what? Yeah, it's a mean thing to say. It's a mean thing for him to go around saying anybody who disagrees with him, on one hand, he's a kid and nobody should criticize him, but on the other hand, he wants to take away your rights and take away your property and pass laws. All right? When you weigh in on a serious issue like that, it gets serious. And guess what? I'd rather somebody said something that might hurt somebody's feelings, but staves off an unjust law being passed, than the rest of us have to live under an unjust law for the foreseeable future. And you don't get to have it both ways, guy. Either you're a kid and people should treat you with kid gloves, or you're weighing in as an adult, and you're going to be treated as one on this very serious life and death political issue. All right? But everybody just seems to be so caught up with, oh, the people speaking out about gun control are so wonderful. I don't know about you. I don't think there's anything wonderful about somebody who's ignorant and doesn't know anything about what they're talking about in terms of firearms or existing firearms laws, proposing to make laws that the rest of us who are knowledgeable have to live under. And that doesn't change just because they're younger and less experienced. Okay? That doesn't change just because they're photogenic and they look good on TV. That doesn't change just because, you know, there's some well-to-do suburban person in Florida with two, you know, well-to-do parents or whatever. This isn't a popularity contest. This isn't Facebook. This isn't Twitter. This is the real-life future of this country and a serious political, legal, and constitutional issue that has to be resolved. So let's treat it like a serious issue and stop saying that just because somebody mindlessly is going along with the trend, like gun control, for example, that they're somehow brave and they're courageous and they're sticking their necks out. It doesn't take any bravery, courageousness, or guts to go along with a mindless mob. It would take a little bravery to question it, but the Parkland survivors, and there have been several, that have questioned this trend haven't been put on TV. Isn't that a surprise? Yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there. Just because you know, are, hey, me too, I support gun control too, NRA, blah, 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 evil. No, you know what? Just stop. You're not being a hero. You're not being brave. You're not sticking your neck out. You're just going along with everybody else. And you probably don't understand half the talking points that you're putting forth. So go home, do some research, learn about firearms, learn about the Constitution, learn about the issue, and then maybe the rest of us will take you seriously. Nobody is questioning these people's sincerity. What we're questioning is their knowledge and to some degree their honesty. Lone Rider out.